morning, Dragon. We hope your evening aboard Endeavour was restful, and we are planning to resume all nominal communications at this time. How copy?
Right on Endeavour, and great to talk to you, Mike, and the team, and congratulations, by the way. Hopefully the new edition is doing well.
Thanks very much. Young Joseph Solomon is doing great. He's at home, hopefully letting his mom sleep a little bit.
All right, well, the crew has been woken up. If you didn't get the song right off the bat, that was Planet Caravan by Black Sabbath. So that is your first wake-up song played on a Crew Dragon. Planet Caravan, Black Sabbath. We know from their interviews pre-launch, Bob and Doug, definite fans of 70s, 80s rock, and also into the 90s, which I was like, yeah, guys, thumbs up on that one.
Station 2, good morning. And Dragon Tally Ho, I know you guys probably see it on the video cameras, but with the naked eye we can see it as well. Looking like a nice, shiny new friend.
And Station 2, good morning to you as well, and thanks for pointing that out. I hadn't, but I see it now.
Well, good morning, everyone, from Endeavour. We had a great night last night, got to get a little sleep, and as you can see from the video, we are just passing over Saudi Arabia in the Middle East. Beautiful day pass right now. And heading northeast up towards Central Asia, and then we'll work our way up the western part of the Himalayas there, and work our way all the way out over, looks like Japan, out into the Pacific for this particular pass. If you look closely in the video, you can see just a sliver of moon kind of halfway between the surface of the Earth and the window pane as we're flying at about 17,500 miles an hour around the planet. Getting pretty close to ISS. When we were in the night part of this orbit, we actually got to see ISS out the window, which was pretty neat to see it for the first time on this trip. Bob's panning the camera back now, just kind of taking a look at around the cabin just to see how things look after a cruise lived in Dragon for an evening. We last night, the way things went, we had our normal activation, got out of our suits, had some a little bit of dinner, then reconfigured the cabin for orbit ops, did a couple other events, including the media event last night, and then we proceeded to get ready for bed, which in space takes a little bit longer than I think on planet Earth. We had to pull out sleeping bags and sleeping clothes and all those kinds of things. Got kind of cleaned up, and then we ended up sleeping just like we are right now, right in our chairs, which was actually a pretty comfortable night's sleep. One of the things we did yesterday was actually manually fly Crew Dragon for the first time, and I want to compliment the teams and Hawthorne. Just a spectacular job with the simulator, as the vehicle flew exactly like the simulators out in Hawthorne. So just want to thank the teams that did all the work on that particular training device, as well as all the modeling and the GNC. It really worked out well, and was a joy to fly. And I'm guessing it was the first time a space vehicle was flown with a touchscreen before. So we got that going for us. Well, hello, folks. Welcome aboard the Dragon Capsule Endeavour. Doug and I had a good night's sleep last night. We were surprised, I think, at how well we actually actually slept aboard the vehicle. A little bit quieter than Space Shuttle, a little bit more, I guess, environmentally controlled. So we didn't have CO2 pockets or things like that building up, giving us congestion, which was super awesome. He talked a little bit about the changing and going back and forth between our suits and our sleepwear and the clothes we're in now and managing all those things. But we've managed to keep the ship pretty tidy at this point as we went through the night's activities and then got into our preparation for today. We did get our suits dried out, get them packed away into the black bags that are stowed in the outboard seats. You can, if you look closely, you can see we've got them strapped in with the regular straps that you'd use for riding into orbit. And then over against kind of that former window location, there is you can see Doug's sleep bag there next to his crew notebook. And so that's how we're keeping all of our laundry constricted, floating all around today. Doug mentioned the manual flying and how well the simulator matched that. I'll tell you that for the ride uphill on Ascent, they just are never able to capture that at the simulator. And so I think Doug and I were talking about all the observations that we had all the way uphill. While it was an exciting ride, I think we got a couple of minor surprises just in terms of the way the vehicle is kind of moving and shaking and taking you into orbit. You can tell that it's fighting against the Earth as it makes it sway into space, and that's just something a simulator can never truly simulate. We do have a friend on board with us. We introduced you to Trimmer yesterday when we did our little activity with the camera. Trimmer also had a good night's sleep. I know that both of our sons are pretty happy about that with their pet dinosaur making it into orbit and having a good night in zero gravity. We plan, once we get on board the space station, to reunite Trimmer with Earthy and plan to bring both of them back to Earth. I know that we'll get Trimmer through the safety brief and get all the education that's required so that we'll have a safe operation while we're on board the space station should anything come up that we need to be prepared for. I know that Trimmer's also looking forward to helping us out with EVA preparations just in case we need to do a spacewalk, and so we're looking forward to that as well.
2 minutes until LOS.
Let's see, I think we'll go ahead and bring the camera out a little bit and we'll show you what's going on underneath the seats on board the Dragon capsule Endeavour. We've got quite a bit of cargo that we'll be taking to the space station. We've got some hard racks as well. The hard stowage that we have can also be swapped, these hard containers here, for powered cargo, which lets us bring back refrigerated things from the International Space Station. And if you're super lucky, you don't have that this time, but I bet you some crew will take ice cream to the International Space Station with those. That'll be exciting for those crews to get to have that. We do have some emergency equipment labeled in red, which is nice to have and easy to see, as well as the other stowage bags that we have down here as well. I don't know if you were watching closely during our strap-in and insertion on the pad, but we did have the seats rotate. At one point, we were down in an easier configuration to ingress the vehicle in, so when we climbed aboard, the seats were rotated down, and after we were strapped in, they rotated up and our activities. And so those seats will rotate again in preparation for splashdown when we eventually come home. So if any of y'all know Uncle Kirk Shireman, as we call him, you could ask him when we're coming home and make sure that he starts having a plan for us. Well, we appreciate you having them coming on board again with us on Endeavour, and showing you around both inside and out. The next time we'll be on video for you. We'll hopefully be on board Chris Cast in just hours. So we appreciate you stopping by and from Endeavor.
Dragon SpaceX, comm check on Big Loop.
SpaceX Dragon, loud and clear now on the Big Loop. How up?
Wonderful to hear. I have you loud and clear as well. Station SpaceX, comm check on Big Loop.
SpaceX International Space Station, from Expedition 63, wonderful to hear all of your voices there in Hawthorne. Congratulations and good luck to everybody today.
Dragon SpaceX, the ground is go for approach initiation. We will be enabling the maneuver shortly, and our updated expected maneuver start time is 12:11 UTC.
At this point, Dragon now approaching waypoint 0.
And really at this point, it's all relative maneuvers, a very slow and steady approach to the station. Of course, that small translational test with Hub and Doug commanding Dragon to do some small manual piloting maneuvers.
At this moment, we're less than a mile away from station. Dragon just under 1,200 meters away, continuing to close the gap. Pretty slow rate right now, moving in at only about 1.7 meters per second. But we're going to be standing by. There's going to be an internal go-no-go poll about passing waypoint 0. That should be coming up in about 7 minutes. We'll continue to listen in with the teams. We're expecting Dragon's arrival at waypoint 0, which we heard its trajectory has converged on. So that means Dragon pointed in the right direction on its way to that waypoint just 400 meters below the space station.
Dragon SpaceX on Big Loop. The ground is go for approach 0. We will be enabling the maneuver shortly. The expected maneuver start time is 12:56 UTC. Reminder that Dragon will nominally continue approach through waypoint 1 toward waypoint 2 without stopping at waypoint 1.
Next Dragon on the Big Loop, we copy go, and 12:56.
Good copy.
Here's a cool view from the station camera. You can see Dragon approaching. We've just got those red and green lights on either side of the capsule. It gives folks looking at the capsule a sense of orientation of the vehicle. And here's a view from Dragon. Dragon's got a number of relative navigation sensors, as well as a couple of cameras that can look forward. That will hopefully get some additional views for as we get closer to docking. So here's a good view of the space station. Here's a great view from a camera behind Bob and Doug. Bob in the right-hand seat and the pilot seat. Doug in the commander seat, or the CDR seat. We've got a display in front of them that's the forward view. It's got some procedural information on the left-hand side that's telling them criteria that they're looking for. Anything off nominal, they could, of course, step in and issue a command if necessary. And then on the left-hand and right-hand screen, we're actually their piloting controls. So when the vehicle is in an appropriate state to receive those commands, they can just hop in and use those touch-sensitive gloves, issue commands to the vehicle's attitude control system. Just about 240 meters away from the space station, we're pretty much lined up right in front of it, along what we've been calling the V-bar, and you may hear that on comms. There is a very nice shot of the Dragon vehicle from cameras aboard the space station. You just saw one of the Draco thrusters there firing, just to keep it in that hold attitude, flying right in front of the station.
Yeah, we have two cameras on the very forward port of Node 2, so right where Dragon's going to be headed following the completion of this manual piloting test.
Dragon SpaceX on Big Loop, C2V2 link reconfiguration is complete. The soft capture ring extension is also complete.
Dragon copies on the Big Loop. Good ray extension and C2V2 reconfig. Thanks, Dragon. That completes the manual piloting demonstration. I only had to twist Doug's arm for 2 or 3 minutes to get him to allow me to deactivate the piloting controls.
We copy. Excellent. Thank you. And with that, we ask that you, from the display used for manual piloting, please go to audio settings and adjust a gain setting for seat 1 or 4. And in addition, we would appreciate any handling qualities evaluation of the proximity piloting possible.
We've completed the gain setting adjustment for seat 1, and I'll turn it over to Doug for the handling qualities quick look. SpaceX Dragon on the Big Loop for the handling qualities. It flew just about like the sim, so my congratulations to the folks in Hawthorne. Flew really well, very crisp. It was a little sloppier and wide, just like we saw in the sim, but all the other axes as well as closure and opening were all just as per.
Excellent to hear. Thank you.
Station on the Big Loop. In step 2, review of steps 3 and 4 is complete. Crew is on the International Space Station is ready for docking.
Station Houston on the Big Loop, we copy the review of 3 and 4 complete. International Space Station ready, thank you.
At this moment, that approach is continuing, still moving in at about 0.3 of a meter per second. Dragon's coming up on just 100 meters away from the space station.
So the very top there is the nose cone on the spacecraft.
We're inside 100 meters, continuing to close. Again, we're going to have a short hold at 20 meters. Teams will just do a final check, and then they'll give Dragon the go. We're expecting it to be pretty brief. We should get to that hold point in just about 4 minutes, moving at our current pace.
I think you can see a meatball and American flag on that on the spacecraft. The NASA logo, of course, referred to as the meatball. I think there was some spirited discussion about the meatball versus the worm during ascent. And those are, you can see those logos. They're that structure on the fairing structure is actually what the Super Dracos are housed in. Of course, all of those are deactivated now, only used for launch escape during the ascent portion. Nose cone right at the top of the vehicle, and you can see sort of the sealing surface. Those four circular slots right underneath the nose cone within that red ring are the forward bulkhead Dracos. That's what we were using while we were conducting all those burns, the 5 burns to get to this point.
Dragon SpaceX on Big Loop. The ground is go for approach 2. We will be enabling the resume shortly. As a reminder, ensure your visors are closed prior to Dragon's departure from the waypoint. And once Dragon is inside the crew hands-off point, retreat and breakout are not permitted. And for your awareness, we have sunset in a little less than 8.5 minutes.
Copies all on the Big Loop. Go for docking.
Station Houston on the Big Loop. Houston and station are now go for docking. Chris, you can monitor for steps 3 and 4. 3 and 4 in 1.104. Crew Dragon approach and retreat monitor.
Copy steps 3 and 4.
Next Dragon on the Big Loop. Our visors are down.
Copy, visors down.
With the crew confirming their visors down, we should see the final approach resume. racing that sunset. The approach has resumed. Dragon closing in. We're inside 20 meters. And yeah, that crew hands-off point should come up in about 3 minutes or so. Right before we get that final docking, it comes about 20 seconds prior. We're just about 2 meters away from the station still. And that's just the crew not issuing any abort commands. At that point, it would be too late. And so any aborts would be executed automatically by Dragon itself. So we're closing in at less than 1/10 of a meter per second at this point.
You can see the service section Dracos just doing all these very small, minor attitude corrections. Really, the autonomous docking system at work, making sure that the vestibule and the soft capture system is lined up with IDA2, it's the International Docking Adapter. You can see much more clearly there the hinge mechanism for the nose cone. Those 4 black circles are the 4 bulkhead Dracos, not to be used at this time. And then of course the pedals of the soft capture system.
And we are just 5 meters away. Again, we're racing that sunset. This Dragon continues to close, 4 meters to go.
Those shadows of the space station on the vehicle. Yeah, you can actually see the centerline camera pretty clearly there, sort of with the contrast of the sun right now.
3 meters to go. 2 meters. We're inside the hands-off point, the chop crew hands-off point, 1 meter to go. Soft capture complete.
Dragon soft capture confirmed. Stand by for retraction and docking.
And we just heard it, soft capture. We have docking, that coming at 7:16 a.m. Pacific time, with the station and Dragon flying 262 statute miles right over the border between northern China and Mongolia.
Dragon SpaceX docking sequence is complete.
Next Dragon, we've got the docking complete. To say that it's been a real honor to be just a small part of this 90-year endeavor since the last time the United States spaceship has docked with the International Space Station. We have to congratulate the men and women of SpaceX at Hawthorne, McGregor, and at Kennedy Space Center. Their incredible efforts over the last several years to make this possible cannot go overstated. I'd also like to thank Kathy Leaders and her team of the Commercial Crew Program of NASA. An outstanding job by everyone. Last, I'd like to thank the men and women of the National Aeronautics and Space Agency. This is an incredible time to be at NASA. 3 new vehicles to be flown, continuing mission in low Earth orbit, and then to the moon and Mars. We thank you again and congratulate you.
Dragon arriving. Crew of Expedition 63 is honored to welcome Dragon and the Commercial Crew Program to welcome aboard the International Space Station. Bob and Doug, glad to have you as part of the crew. Well done. Bravo Zulu.
We're happy. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Chris.
Endeavor, this is Houston. Bob and Doug, welcome to the International Space Station after your spectacular rendezvous and docking of the first Crew Dragon vehicle. For the first time since the retirement of the space shuttle, you've completed a historic ride to the ISS and have opened up a new chapter in human space exploration. On behalf of the flight control teams here in Houston and in Hawthorne, California, and to our SpaceX colleagues, bravo on a magnificent moment in spaceflight history and on the start of a new journey that has changed the face of space travel in this new era of space transportation. Bob and Doug, good luck, and we look forward.
Dragon, SpaceX, Bob and Doug, we here at SpaceX are honored to have been part of ushering in this new era of human spaceflight. On behalf of the SpaceX and NASA partnership, congratulations on a phenomenal accomplishment and welcome to the International Space Station.
Well, thank you, Anna. We appreciate all the good work and everyone thanking us, but it truly was a magnificent effort by the entire team, the SpaceX team, the NASA team, and a team across America who was able to pull this off and bring human spaceflight again to our nation. Thanks for everything. Happy to be aboard.
And with that, the hatch is open, 12:02 p.m. Central Time, 1:02 p.m. Eastern. Bob Behnken and Doug Hurley opened the hatch to the International Space Station after launching from American soil on a U.S. vehicle for the first time in 9 years, the first time ever for a commercially built spacecraft. We have Bob Behnken from SpaceX Demo 2 mission entering the International Space Station. Followed by Doug Hurley. Demo 2 crew now aboard the International Space Station. They entered at 12:22 p.m. Central Time. The station at the time was 262 statute miles over Turkmenistan. Crew all gathered in front of the cameras at the Node 2 forward end of the International Space Station. Just behind them is the hatchway to the Crew Dragon on its Demo 2 mission.
Station, this is the NASA administrator. Can you hear me?
We hear you loud and clear, sir. Welcome to the space station.
Thank you, Chris. It's good to see you. And welcome to Bob and Doug. I will tell you, the whole world saw this mission, and we are so proud of everything you have done for our country and, in fact, to inspire the world.